Why does this inner child exist? We wonder why it is needed. So I'm going to share the importance of understanding this concept called inner child. Spirituality itself is nothing but partly unlearning what we have learned, deconditioning the past. Because so many things we store in our subconscious mind from our past, we carry it, we cling to the past. Many fears, many emotions, stuck thoughts, beliefs, and we keep on perpetuating the same kind of, you know, negative patterns in our life because we're still hanging on to those limiting thoughts and beliefs and fears. So we need to unlearn the past, whatever that we have learned, learn something new because we're
Now,
still so
hanging on to those
inner
limiting
child is a
thoughts and
symbolic
beliefs.
representation of all the past. It's just if we symbolize our past, where certain things that we have experienced and certain pleasant things, certain unpleasant things, everything it forms a kind of symbol. It is the inner child. Even we may be 80-year-old, 90-year-old, doesn't matter, but this inner child energy exists inside us. Because in that place of the inner child, we need to do some inner work. We need to understand what that inner child energy that I'm carrying. Because many times we carry these kinds of deeper thoughts, deeper beliefs, which are not in alignment with our, greater life or greater purpose that we want to manifest in our life, or whatever that we want to do in our life, something is being sabotaged. We're not able to do that. Even take, for example, meditation. Some, they really struggle a lot meditating. Mind gets too much distracted, even though they put the efforts, but still they're unable to reach to that stage of deep meditation because still there are thoughts. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I may not really go into deep meditation. It's not possible for me. I cannot do. I may fail. So many these kinds of beliefs are, carried from the our childhood developmental stages. We've gone through all kinds of memories, pleasant, unpleasant. But today, I'm going to share you quickly the next 10 minutes time about the concept about inner child, how important it is to let go of all that stuff, unlearn, decondition ourselves. So I got few slides for you to share.
We have time all the way till 7:45, 7:50.
Oh, 7:45 then. It's
Yeah,
really
we have good half an hour, 35 minutes for sure.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to put this inner child. So friends, very quickly, I'm going to show you these images because these pictures convey so many things better than words. So when we look at a child, always our heart opens. Anyone's heart will open up. They bring such a joy to a family. And immediately when we connect to a child, you find certain qualities of the child which are resonating with you. For example, the child has innocence, purity, and there is a naturalness, there is an expression. The child is uninhibited and they or authentic. They express and they connect with people. They connect with the nature. They love nature, and they are compassionate, highly compassionate, and they're confident. Tell something to the child to sing and dance, and they do it immediately. And shy or shame and different feelings will emerge at a later point. But when we were children, before all the conditioning started, we were all really in such a paradise. That's why we say it's really like a heavenly experience when we were children. So there are many qualities which we retained, we still have them, but certain qualities have disappeared. For example, we lose our innocence, and also we lose our trust. Sometimes it's difficult to trust what's happening now. It's difficult to trust our own self, our own intuitions, and because we lost trust somewhere in the childhood. And certain other qualities like confidence, like expression, communication, compassion, so many things, even happiness. We were so happy when we were children, but when we reached to our adulthood, we lost that happiness. I'm talking about this, the happiness which comes out unconditionally, without any conditions. So these qualities can be retrieved when we recognize the inner child inside us. Also, inner child represents that divine essence. In a child, we find God. We find that God-like qualities in a child. So these are the words, beautiful words from Master, Grandmaster Christ. He said, truly, I say to you, unless you become like children, you will not enter into the kingdom of God or kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven is not outside, he said it's inside you. So, what is this kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God? It's a metaphor which means enlightenment, awakening. Someone without becoming as innocent, as pure as a child, as a children, they cannot really come closer to enlightenment or cannot be enlightened. Because whatever the qualities that we had as children, they're still there inside us, but it's hidden, dormant. We need to just recognize them because there are many layers of conditioning that covered over this inner child essence of us. So even for a young child to an old man or old woman, everyone, this inner child essence will be there. A part of us, this energy is the inner child energy. That's why when we meet our parents, even though we are grown ups, we still behave like a child. We become like children only. When I meet my mother, my father, I will not be like Dr. Newton. I will not be like a meditation teacher. I will be just like a child. I go to my mother just like a child. Sometimes she feeds me. She touches my hair. She loves to kiss me. She loves to hug me. I receive it. I become a child. I will not refuse that. I will be opening my heart like a child, opening the heart to the parents. So that why I'm saying this is even though we are grown-up selves, we still carry this the child quality, child essence inside us. As adults, we have become sometimes so serious in life, not smiling, not playful, not humor. We lost humor, lost the ability to open up our hearts because the survival strategies that have come up in us. To survive, we have to sacrifice our heart, our emotional side of our life, and we have to become so serious. So, these are the beautiful words from Christ. We remember them, friends. And that's why, for every spiritual seeker and a practitioner of meditation, at one stage, they will come across this soft, vulnerable part of themselves, the inner child. For example, almost after 10 years of my meditation, I progressed a lot in my meditation, but still that 5% was still pending. There's something which I need to dissolve. I need to let go of something which I'm carrying from the past. I never knew about it, but I always used to wonder, what is this? I'm still not fully available to life, not fully present in life. I'm not fully connected to this beautiful life. What is that 5% which I'm lagging behind? At that point of time, I found that's nothing but my past childhood. I carried certain conditioning, certain beliefs, certain fears from my childhood, which I have not touched that area because it's the most sensitive area. When I was born, I was sent to my grandmother. I was just few months old baby at that time. So I felt an abandonment wound. I felt, oh, I miss my mother. I used to cry as a child. So I used to feel so many complex kind of feelings and emotions that I developed that time. I used to be sad. I used to be angry. For a child, sadness is not an experience. The child becomes more angry because grieving is very difficult for a child because it's too painful to be not in contact with the parents. For a child, it's so essential to be in staying touch with the parents. So I miss my parents at the time. So when I came back after a few years later, uh, my parents explained to me that I was sent to my grandmother for my education. But my inner child version inside me did not understand it. I was rebelling. I was saying in my heart that no, I need your time. I need your love. I need your attention. I missed all that. Why did you send me away? Whether it is for education, for a greater reason, child cannot understand it. The child has certain important essential needs. So this is my story. I carried that wound, which was 5%, which created an unworthiness inside me. So many things I used to self sabotage. I became an alcoholic at a very younger age. When I reached to my teenage time, I started, drinking with my friends, alcohol, smoking cigarettes. It's a self-destructive habits which I developed. I can relate now why I was like that. I was rebelling. I was angry at my parents. So when I came into meditation path, meditation, I have to face that part of me, that energy of my inner child. So I met my younger version inner child. I reparented the inner child. Whatever that young little boy missed out, I given him. My consciousness has showered all that compassion and love, and that's how I reconnected my child version. I completely deconditioned myself. So, friends, when we were all children, there were certain essential needs. They are important needs. For example, these needs are very essential, very primary. For an animal, when it is born, within a few hours, an animal can get up, can walk around. But a human baby, the mother carries the baby. The mother feeds the baby. For example, the child is feeling hungry, the mother The language of the child cries. The mother understands what is this crying of the baby means. Whether the baby is hungry, whether the child is having some pain or discomfort, or what is that need. Mother knows exactly. There's a beautiful bond between a mother and a child. So, what happens at a very younger age for human babies is the child cannot go and get up and walk to the refrigerator and drink milk, cannot fulfill all the needs. The child needs a mother, the face of the mother. The child needs to look at that face because we stayed in the womb of the mother for 9 months. And after we have come out of the womb, we need to see our mother. Our mother's attention is needed. Her touch is needed. She is holding us. It feels so good. And we feel complete love. Love is a very essential need. So, at a very younger age, this is the most important need. Many children, they don't receive the time of the parent. Time is love for a child. The parents are too much busy. If the child is born, both mother and father working, and both not available for the child. The father comes back from the office, and the mother also works from the workplace. She comes back, and they're still busy speaking over the phone, or they switch on the television, they're watching cricket or something else, or they might be interested in meditation. The child thinks, my mother loves television serials more than me. Father thinks that father is more speaking over the phone hours and hours, and the child feels that my father loves to speak to his friends, not me. So, for a child, the time that is spent by the parents is called love. So, love is the most essential ingredient that we experience when we're children. It forms the very foundation for the rest of the life. Children who are not loved, they feel certain complex emotions, like we feel painful, we feel sadness, we feel rejection, we feel so many things. Love is so essential, friends. Otherwise, child feels lonely. And the second important need for a child is attention. There's something called attention seeking disorder children that develop at one stage. When children are not given enough attention, the child seeks the attention of the parents by doing all the negative things. They rebel, they break the furniture, they slam the door, they will be very angry. What they're saying to the parents in a non-verbal way, not direct communication, is I need your attention. You did not give me. So sometimes they fall and they break their legs, they get wounded, they become fall sick. And when children they become sick, they draw the attention of the parents. So they seek the attention. Every child needs attention of the parents. When attention is not given, there's a lack of self-worth. Children feel unworthy. It's so essential that this need is fulfilled at a very younger age. And the third important need is affection showed to the child. A parent shows the affection through caring, loving words, not harsh words. Many words are uttered by the caretakers or with emotional intensity. Sometimes they use negative words. They discourage child. They scold the child. Sometimes these words can wound a child. But affection is showed through the words of encouragement, appreciation, recognition, and also the tap on the shoulder by the father placing his hand on the son. I tell you my story. When I was seventh class student, at the time I was 10 years old. am failing in my classes. Till my sixth standard, I did not learn alphabets. I did not know. I never learned in the school. I rejected the school system because I did not get receive the attention, love, affection from my parents at a very younger age. I felt so angry. In the school, it was I denied the teachers also because they were like strict teachers, punishing teachers, and I did not learn anything. But seventh standard, my parents, my father bought me a gift, a pen he gifted me, and he placed his hand on my shoulder. His Madama, one moment. My father placed his hand on my shoulders and he said, "You can study well." I felt such an encouragement. The affection showed. It's like approving me. Suddenly, I found so much of, you know, such enthusiasm to study. Just one touch, placing the hands on my shoulder, it given me such a strength. I felt my father's approval towards me. Because many children who are not given this affection, they find that lack of approval. Then they self disapprove. They try to seek this approval from others later on. So I could find that lack of self approval. I always seek approval from others at a very younger age. But this encouragement made me to study well. From seventh standard onwards, I started excelling. Actually, I stood fourth in the state at that time, and my 10th standard and also intermediate. It was always like I was topper. And in the MSET exam, the first rank for very first time, first attempt MSET, I got through. I got my medical seat. And it was really, I can say, this affection showed by my father, just that kind gesture. It encouraged me. This is an important need, friends. And the fourth essential need is guidance. Did you receive guidance from your parents? Guidance is important. For example, when a child is growing up, the child learns so many skills. For example, we try to speak words. Parents guide us. And also we try to walk. We try to ride the bicycle. Were parents there at the time guiding you? First time when a child is riding a bicycle, the father and the mother are there, just holding the bicycle. And the child feels that, yes, my parents are there. They're guiding me. I can feel their guidance and feels a little bit confident. And sometimes the child falls down, but parents encourage the child. They guide the child. Yes, you can pedal and you can ride the bicycle very well. And after some time, they leave the hands and the child will be riding the bicycle and the child will be looking back and at the face of the parents, and the parents, they will be having this beaming smile. They will be so happy. They'll be clapping for the child. You did it, you did it, my dear son, my dear daughter, you could ride the bicycle. And as a son, as a daughter, you say, I can do it, I did it, I can do it. This is called competence, dear friends. Otherwise, many people feel incompetent. I cannot do it. It's not possible. I fail. Because the guidance that we receive from parents at a very younger age, it's again forms a foundation for the growth of the child. Okay, this is another important need. And last important need is discipline. What is this discipline? Discipline is not just beating the child or scolding the child. what we have observed last 30 years, my work in this direction, where I'm working in the age regression, past life regression with the inner child work. My work is mainly to clean up all that beliefs and fears and past memories, make people to reconnect with the divine self. So many children, they experience this, that they lack discipline at a very younger age, particularly nurturing discipline. There is a strict discipline, the discipline where the parents come and they beat the child. The child is failing in exams, the child is beaten, the child is scolded, the child is reprimanded. And it is going to actually create a deeper, complex wounds and emotions, blockages for a child when a child is verbally or physically abused. So discipline is so important, but this is called nurturing, compassionate discipline. Parents need to tell the child, this is not so good. There are many other good options for you, my dear child. The child feels that I can do it. I will do it. For example, when the child is looking at a Superman or Batman show, the child feels I can also jump from this building to the another building, because that's the Hanuman energy, the strength of a child. That potential is there, but parents discipline, nurturing discipline is required. The child need to be told, you can do it in the future after the enough training of your muscles, but right now you're still developing your muscles. This discipline is required. The child wants to do so many things. If a child is left all by himself or herself, we think it's a freedom, but it's not freedom, friends. We just don't have our time to give to the child. Sometimes parents think that, oh, I give a complete freedom to the child. But the child needs this nurturing discipline. That's why many people struggle to have discipline. They cannot get up in the morning and meditate before sunrise and during sunrise time. Such a precious hours to meditate in the morning. We lack discipline. We say to ourselves, I will do it, but we cannot do it. We will postpone tomorrow because we lack self discipline. Every spiritual master needs self discipline also. When you say, I will do this, you will do it. Anything, whatever you take up. But that discipline also molds the character of a child. At a very younger age, this character is formed in a child. Most of the times, we lack a strong character. We don't know who we are. There's identity crisis a child goes through. And when we reach around 21, 18 to 21 years age, our crystallization of our personality system is formed. Complete crystallization of our character, our personality is going to happen. Mostly it won't happen because we do not know who we are. Till we have come across meditation and after 10 years sadhana, then we recognize who we are. But otherwise, if all these needs are fulfilled for a child, the child will know who they are, what role they need to play. Exactly, they know. That clarity they will gain by 21 years. We were called as children till 21 years, 18 to 21 years. So at any stage of our development, sometimes these needs are not fulfilled. The time, attention, affection, guidance, and discipline. We experience lack of love, lack of self-worth, lack of approval, lack of competence, and lack of development of our character. So we are still struggling sometimes in the adulthood. There are many symptoms that we experience in the adulthood. So family, we experience, for example, in a family, the four children to this set of parents. So there are some kind of conflicts between the parents. They are arguing. There's the time is not given to the child. One child will become a rebel, like a scapegoat. They try to get the attention of the parents by being a rebel. They do exactly opposite whatever parents tell them. And one child will become a hero. They receive all the positive attention. They get good grades, good education, good in sports, good in everything. They will keep up the name success of the family. And another child will be lost child, completely lost, neglected, and withdrawn and depressed. And one more child, if fourth child also is there, is called mascot. Mascot is an entertainer. They try to, bring the cohesion in the family unit, a harmony, by creating humor, creating certain fun-like things, and they want to be a mediator, peacemaker in the family, entertainer of the family. So this is how it happens, friends. We can see that if all children are there, not every child is, behaving in the same way. The same set of parents, but all children have different kinds of roles they select because family is a system. They try to balance the system. Whatever the inadequacies or the lack of conscious parenting or spiritual parenting is lacking, then it affects the children. So the needs that we talked about, it really creates a lot of conditioning. So friends, briefly, this is about inner child is about reparenting. We don't need to put the blame on the parents. Many children, they do that. I did that for many years. After 10 years of my meditation, first time my heart opened. I could receive my mother into my heart. I taken my father into my heart. And first time I bowed down to their feet. First time I hugged my father. I could speak to my father with open heart. I could never speak to my father before. I could never spend time with him. But I could do that because I reparented my inner child. I stopped blaming. Otherwise, I was blaming my parents. I was very angry. All my bad habits, destructive habits, I was almost destroying my lungs because of the negative habits I developed. All habits completely gone. And I felt very confident in my life. I felt very good enough. Friends, many things. I had many big dreams of spreading spirituality across the globe. I could do it because I healed my inner child. And it opened gateways of abundance of joy and abundance everywhere. So, friends, right now, I feel very grateful to my parents and a lot of gratitude. Every day I thank my parents in my meditation. Just like in meditation, Master Chandra was telling this gratitude to parents, gratitude to teachers that we learn from, because Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. These are the three important things from Upanishads we learned. It's so essential. And we don't need to blame parents and teachers, but we can do something for ourselves in meditation, friends. You can connect to that child version inside you. Have this inner dialogue and give all that what your inner child missed out. Love can be filled in the inner child. You spend with your inner child the time that is spent by your own self with your inner child. It makes the child feels loved, unconditionally loved. So this is briefly about the inner child. And you have questions, you may ask me, you may interact with me.
Thank you, Dr. Newton. Always in-depth understanding of these very, very important concepts that unless we understand, unless we know about something, then we don't even know what is the solution. Only when we know, then we can think of giving a solution to it. Identifying that inner child, identifying when we connect with our behaviors, emotional patterns, our thought patterns. Meditation is helping us clear some, but then we still are carrying some of those deep-rooted ones, which is where all this knowledge that we gain today helps us to connect. Now, can you help us tell more about how do I mean, I've been meditating and then I continuously have these challenges of forgiving. It could be parents or grandparents where I really grew up with, because I didn't know about it, but then I have this constant rebellion attitude and stuff. How do I heal myself? What are the ways?
Wonderful. This question is the question for, I know you are asking on behalf of everyone. It's an important question because our negative behaviors like anger, sometimes self-destructive behaviors or self-sabotaging behaviors, or our ruthless behaviors or rough behaviors, all of them, if we want to change, we can't change. We might suppress these kind of emotional expression, emotions, but it is not the long-lasting solution. In order to change our behaviors, we need to also look deeply inside us. What is that need that is not fulfilled, which created painful feelings and negative attitudes? And negative attitudes also created these negative behaviors of us. And we have to go to the roots. So, in actually the meditation, one can connect to that. What is that need that is not fulfilled? What am I missing? What did I miss when I was a child? What did I actually given up, or what was I denied of when I was a child? What kind of conditioning process I went through? With these questions, we can recognize what is that need that is not fulfilled, and then what kind of painful emotions we carried, what kind of anger, sadness, or unworthy feelings, and all these things we can identify. But this need can be fulfilled by your own self. You can transmit all that love by having this inner dialogue. For example, this adult grown up self, a wise, mature consciousness, the younger child version who is feeling very sad and lonely. These two parts are there in us, there are two aspects in us, and one can have an inner dialogue. This adult part can speak to the child version and share all the love to this inner child, the child version of us. It responds, the inner child responds and opens up. And all those behavioral patterns will be altered and changed. Many alcoholics, the addictions, habits that we develop is lack of father connection. Our research, we found habits and addictions people develop. We give a lot of de-addiction programs. We have been working in a rural community in this area around Quantum Life University. There are 400 villages. So one program we have taken up is de-addiction, because so much of addiction, alcohol and smoking and gutka and all these addictions is just lack of connection with the father energy. And when they understand the inner child and heal that wound, they can connect to the father easily. Once they do that, the addictions will go away. And behavioral patterns will change. Many people carry the illness. Illness also is a result of the wounds that we carry, emotional wounds and blockages that we carry from our own past childhood. We chronically carry the sadness and pain and anger. How long our body can withstand that? One day, they beyond a threshold point, these emotions, negative emotions, destructive emotions can actually result into illness. People can heal rapidly when they also connect to the inner child. So this is how it can be done, Chandrasekharji.
So, Newton, thank you for that. While we recognize that meditation is helping us to understand our emotions and then try to fix it, are there any tools that specifically that you and Quantum Life University are doing to accelerate this process?
Yes. The first thing that we do here is, when anyone approaching Quantum Life University, first we decondition, we unlearn what we have learned already. They have put through the deconditioning process, through the inner child work. We conduct the programs of the inner child, 2 day and sometimes more deeper, intensive facilitator programs we conduct the inner child. Through that, they go through that. And while we also encourage people not to do the spiritual bypassing, not to use meditation as a defense mechanism. Many people, they feel good in meditation, but once they open the eyes, they go to the routine life, they will be back to the square. They will have the same kind of behaviors like anger, temperament issues and all that. So they put everything under the carpet, but we say that clean it up. Antar shuddhi, chitta suddhi is important. Inner cleaning process is important. We use meditation to heal ourselves. So inner child work, and not to do the spiritual bypass mechanism, but face the issues, clean it up. That's what we do. We encourage people to do that.
Thank you, Dr. Newton. Dear friends, spiritual bypassing, I think, a very important concept that Newton talked about. Meditation is absolutely bringing all those deeper issues out. While it is clearing many, the subtle ones, the smaller ones, but there's some of the deeper ones that keep coming up, and when they keep coming up, we got to work on it. And the depth with which Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi have designed some of these programs are always helpful, always helpful. I have done myself, I've explored myself in doing breath work, long duration, multiple day breath work. I don't know, a science of past life regression, I don't know, deeper radiant relationships kind of workshop, which always helpful to decondition ourselves. They're accelerating the process. There is meditation, and there is some of this intense work that we do on ourselves. Multi-day workshops, when you go in and then do it, it's definitely helping. So, and there's no better place than Quantum Life University's program that they're organizing always. And I know there is another program that's coming up. Dr. Newton's many trained students, therapists are doing the programs, and everybody has got a lot of authority on the subject, and then the techniques that they teach are absolutely wonderful. And we ourselves will bring in Dr. Newton. We are fortunate that Dr. Newton agreed to do a program around this, a longer duration program, but we've got to wait for that till April, a little later in April. But however, I strongly recommend anybody been practicing meditation, but then still feel a challenge with some of those deeper emotions, definitely it's worthwhile to take a close look at a program that Quantum Life University is organizing. And the website is qluglobal.org. Dr. Newton, the other facilitator programs are also listed there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All the programs are listed out.
Right. All right. So thank you, Dr. Newton, for your wonderful session. It's very heart-touching. I ran into tears a few times. We always go back into our memories of, how did we parent, and did I do it right? And then is there a way I can improve myself? And but then there's always an opportunity. It's never too late. Even if you didn't have a good past, and the way you put it up is never too late. We can always fix that, correct it. Then when you said you went back and hugged your mother, you could really open up to your mother and father. I think it's possible, dear friends. And then in the context of manifestation, this developing or getting back to the relationship with our parents is so essential. People who are generally failing overall in their life, there is a connection. If you keep away from the parents, then we are not necessarily progressing. Anything we take up, we keep failing. We've got to have that connection with the parent, because they are that connection into this energy field. And so we got to bring it back. And then if there is an inner child that's holding us back, then we must do this work. And wonderful, Dr. Newton, I request Karthikeyan sir's comments. And then we're going to, if Dr. Newton agrees to stay for another 10-15 minutes, then we'll take questions from him. But then those of you quite late, so I request Karthikeyan sir to have his closing comments. And then those who wanted to stay back, we could stay back to see if Dr. Newton can answer. Yes, sir, Karthikeyan sir.
Dr. Newton is always powerful, inspirational, never too late. You are right. There's always an opportunity. Only thing is that wisdom, opportunity has to come. So Chandra and yourself create such opportunities for thousands around the world now. And now, after this powerful meditation, I don't think any words was required. People are happy. Let them carry that elevated feeling and go. Not to bring down that impact by any more comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Karthikeyan sir. It's wonderful. Yes, I know you yourself have visited Quantum Life University. This is a place where Dr. Newton, we all are dreaming of awarding PhDs and bachelor and then doctorate degrees to people who are purely investigating, exploring spiritual science. And there is a Soul Coach program that he designed. It goes for a 2-semester course in a year, but then 10 days you be there, 2 semesters, 10 days each time you be there in the campus and learn like hundreds of spiritual concepts and then with deep meditations and then also integrate service around it. And then it's a wonderful program for deep transformation. If anybody has not taken a few days for themselves, this is the place. It's doing in English, in Hindi, and Telugu, and then other languages. But hundreds of people come together and then do this program and then deep transformation. I have interacted, Dr. Newton, personally with many people, including my mother-in-law. She's gone there. My brother has gone there. My sister-in-law has gone there. Inspired of meditation for long years, but they never gone there. It's an amazing program that people tell me, and I know that it's so. There is that program, Soul Coach, that they're doing free program, right? So all kinds of, and not to miss on. They taken the 400 villages around this Quantum Life University, which is near Hyderabad, 1 hour away from Hyderabad, called Vikarabad. So 400 villages. They're helping and then lift the villages' lifestyle, the livelihoods in many ways, and going beyond spirituality. And I couldn't. Every time I go to this place, it's such an energy place, and so I keep asking myself, when I connected to Pyramid Valley, the opportunity, and then I feel my life is fulfilled by contributing in any big way or small way. Our Tan Man Dhan is there. And then we ask ourselves, every now and then these opportunities come to contribute, to make a lasting difference to the lives of many people. So, dear friends, this Quantum Life University is a project that absolutely is being modeled on the lines of Takshashila University of India, giving that ancient, deeper wisdom, transformations. And so it is a great opportunity for all of us to first visit that place and then be part of some of the programs and of course connect into this dream that this team is putting together. I'm personally in it. And any time supporting this university project is a pleasure.
And the spiritual agriculture.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual agriculture, amazing.
The spiritual agriculture that they're doing.
Barren land is an oasis, So how much they are able to get water in the tank? The dry area. Everything they touch with that noble intention is prospering. It's a model campus. I think it is as good, going to be as popular as the Pyramid Valley National Bangalore.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Thank you all. And we take questions now, a few questions. Dr. Newton, do you have time for 15 minutes?
Yes, I have time. No problem.
All right. So those who would like to exit, feel free to exit, no problem. And thank you for staying back for all this while. And then we'll take some questions now.
I want to express it.
Yes.
Dr. Newton, sir, thank you so much for the visiting. And you're always so inspiring, you and Lakshmi ma'am. And personally, and Alekia, especially inner child workshop she attended, I saw so much difference after she attended. And whatever she got the knowledge and experience and practicality, whatever she really, certain things before she's not expressive, after that she's so expressive. Amma, that time you are doing like that. Now, please, that is really bothering me. You please correct. The way she expresses a very positive way and very connecting way. I used to understand what I was before I'm doing something without knowing. As a mother, I thought I'm doing best for my child. And after that, I corrected myself. She is like my friend. It happened. That is a great thing it happened in her life. And after the workshop, she came to house, and 2 3 days overnight she used to be like a write a note like a big diary, and she used to express it how much she understand and how she is implementing in her life. And she used to explain to her brother also. And always you are so inspiring. You both are really inspiring us, sir, and in our lives. And thank you so much. And Chandra, we both are like always, you are inspiring so many projects and everything. And Life University is the one of the best projects, friends. And the Sahasrara Pyramid, world best pyramid is coming. And the vanas, what Karthikeyan sir said, they're creating vanas, Pitruvana, Matruvana, those all things when workshops are happening. That listening itself, it's so beautiful. And we all have to go and experience at the campus. That is the one of the best campus in the world, because in outside the nature, they're creating so much energy spots. That's what we experienced it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Vani Garu. Thank you, madam. Thank you. It's wonderful. Always, both of you inspire so much, Chandra and yourself. The work that you're doing, amazing. Thank you.
There we have Sulata.
Yes. Hi,
Sulata.
sir. Good morning. I have this child, 5-year-old, and he is like, the categories you said, wherein if we ask him to say something, he will back answer, no, I won't do this, I won't do that. And then the fourth category, wherein you said that an entertainer who seeks attention, that is also there in him. Now, I understand that there was a lot of argument between me and my husband in front of him. So I know it has impacted him. He has this skin related issues and all, which is all, that attention seeking thing. I understand. But I always felt that I gave him a lot of attention, lot of pampering. Then later on, I felt it became his habit. So that's why I started detaching. But now, overall, like now I am at my mom's place, so things have improved a lot. But still, during the online classes and all, he can't sit. So I get very wild. Like, he's not able. He is very intellectual. He understands everything. He knows. He even understands people's emotion, even without saying no. Very attentive, very sharp child. But still, like, I feel indisciplined. But in social group and all, he is absolutely fine. But I lose my temper a lot on him.
Okay.
So,
How old is your son? Sulataji, how old is your son?
5 years old.
5 years old now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So children are mirrors to the parents. When a parent is transforming, automatically the child receives the benefit. So nothing need to be done for the child, but something can be done by your own self. Number one is you can have this beautiful conversation with your son and tell him that whatever the problems that are existing between you and your husband is nothing to do with your son. You say to your son that this conflict between whatever the conflict of opinion or difference in thoughts, it's all, our own stuff. It's nothing to worry about it, because sometimes children, they're caught between parents. The child feels very insecure, unsafe. And also a lot of time of parents going for into that conflict. They spend a lot of time in arguing, and less time, attention is given to the child. Whatever that he missed out, right now, as a mother, if you open your heart, as you transform, as you realize, something beautiful shift happens to your son. He will receive the benefit. And also you lose the temper. Okay, you mentioned about it.
Yeah.
Something that I want to tell you about meeting your own inner child. So
Okay.
sometimes you need to heal your own bond, your connection with your mother,
Yes.
first with your mother.
Yeah.
Because every daughter need to heal the relationship with their mother. Every son also needs to connect with the father energy. So after you heal your own inner child, you make your son to connect with the father energy more. You must guide him to connect with more with the father.
Actually, me recently, like because of the COVID thing,
We will, in the interest of time, we'll go to the next one. So continue to engage
Okay.
with Dr. Nita later. Okay. Thank you, Sujat.
Yes.
Yes. Next one.
Yeah, we have Srilata, sir.
Yes.
Morning, sir. Chandra, sir,
Good
thank you.
morning.
Thanks a lot for giving such a master over here. And it's something different with me, sir. My husband is giving lot of over pampering to my son. So because of over pampering, he is not studying, and he is addicted to all the PUBG games and all time he's spending on TVs, and he want to go play with all local guys who are talking unnecessary words. And I don't want to do that. I always say study sometime, go play. I give him the schedule. You need to do this all everything you need to balance, but he says he want to play. His father is giving that much freedom, over pampering. He is getting very much angry. And nowadays he is saying that I hate my mother. In the school he is going and he's saying that I hate mother. Hyderabad public school, I affected more than myself, and I kept him in the most costly school in Hyderabad public school. Still he says there, I hate my mother, I love my mother. It is hurting me a lot. I have given lot of parenting, lot of love, lot of care, everything what you said, everything I have given. But still, where I am lacking, I am not getting, sir.
Okay.
Can you give advice?
Yes, Srilataji, one thing that can be done is from your side and your husband's side, both need to guide your son. As I mentioned, guidance and discipline, nurturing discipline, compassionate discipline. Sometimes when father is too much allowing the son and not guiding the son, because the father also notices that PUBG games and some games or computer games are not really helpful, but it is very violent games. These games are like killing and it's about violence. It's so important to guide the child. And though the father wants his son to be happy, but the son will be much more happy if the son connects with the trees, with the plants, with the animals, with humans, with that connection with the nature. So when children are not really receiving that guidance, sometimes they can go in this way. And also something that is invisible, that's I could notice that your husband also need to work on himself, somewhere his own inner child wound, his own inner child, his connection with his father. If he has not healed yet, he cannot give the best fathering, right fathering cannot be given. It's so essential. As a mother, he is angry at you not because of any other reason, because you are strict, because you say father is allowing, you say don't know PUBG games, you do something else, not be addicted with it. So but sometimes it's important, you can be strict, it's important. We need to guide, but father also first heal himself and then he can guide the son. Okay, that is the you can try this. Use this inner child concept and work on that concept, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Newton. Friends, if the question is already answered for somebody else, so please don't put the question again, because the answers are always they're related. And don't make it very personal, right? We don't even realize we're judging people here while asking questions. So please remember this, and then make it general so that everybody benefits, right? An individual problem, you can always write a mail and then see if we can go and then meet. We gotta take time to meet, right? Kumari Kruthuri.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I have a similar situation with my kid, but now he's grown up and married. How to handle that?
So the same answer, Kumariji. Like if you are transforming your own self, it also because we live in a quantum world, quantum energy, everything is so interconnected. Some shift is happening in you. You will also parallelly inspiring, you send the inspiration energy to your son. So, okay. And no need to carry the guilt. A parent who carries the guilt, oh, I did not do this and I did not spend time when the child was small. So that guilt can be transformed into compassion now. You can do something now with you internally inside you, because your son is married and he's settled, he has his own family now. So something you can do in meditation with your inner child, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Kumar, is it first time you joined this program? How long have you been meditating?
From the last 5-6 months, sir.
Okay, very good. So what has been conditioned, right, for years and years, it takes a few days to a few weeks, right? So
yeah,
meditation is the solution to all problems. Now, what we talked about, our doctrine talked about, is a process of getting deeper into ourselves. So we got to do that work, of inner child work. So connect in with in the Quantum Life University, or many of the facilitators are doing the program, right? And then absolutely, we're going to understand ourselves more in the process, and then it's going to happen. I'm sure you probably are noticing some changes already, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's a common question to not only you, but many grown-ups. Like everybody has the similar challenge, right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just believe in that meditation absolutely is helping. And Quantum Life University, I can tell you, Dr. Newton has done any number, I don't know how many, hundreds of lectures every day. Intense, deep lectures he has done during the COVID time, last year, April, May, June, July, August. And such a deep subject is delivered, and all of those are available in their YouTube channels to start with, and then connecting to some of the workshops, do the actual work will help. Yes. Raj?
Yeah. Thanks, first of all, Chandra sir, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. And thanks to Newton sir. It's a great privilege to ask question in front of such a great personality. But I have one generic question, Newton sir. Sometimes we, in fact, go achieve, try to proceed in life with some goals, and that goal might not happen on time. In that case, some frustration will build inside. Over a period of time, that frustration every day comes in a thought process during meditation. How to handle such situations, sir?
Okay. Yeah. So not all plans that we plan about in life are translated into realities. Then we feel frustrated sometimes. So, meditation cultivate certain beautiful qualities in us. One thing is art of waiting. Sometimes we need to have enough patience, enough persistence, and not to really lose our patience because something is not happening as you intended immediately. sometimes it might take a little more time. So use meditation to deal with that stress and frustration that you feel, Rajji. And manifestation, uh, Master Chandra is such a wonderful master. He mastered the quantum physics and quantum, how to use these quantum physics principles to use it to manifest our goals. Please, you can review the lessons, and you can apply those things, and it will really, you will achieve that. There's nothing impossible.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. This really helps. In fact, Chandra sir lessons, in fact, I'm attending the class regularly for the past 3 months. And in fact, those are the morning sessions really helps me to stay positive, to be honest with you. That is one of the things I learned. Because if I didn't attend the session, I feel like, something negativity keep on coming. The moment I attend and hear to Chandra sir's lecture and Karthikeyan sir words, I feel like, okay, let's take this and carry forward for today. If something doesn't happen, let's see. That's the kind of situation I'm proceeding. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, Preeti Manthaji.
Good morning, Chandra sir, and good morning, Dr. Newton. It's a great honor to have you speaking to us one-to-one. And I just request you, if you could guide us, like sometimes children, they, fail to achieve what they desire. And they feel that they are incompetent. The others are surpassing their potential, and a lot of negativity comes. So how do we change that negativity within a child into a strong, positive desire to do something better, or what you are doing is good? I mean, don't underestimate your potential. So could you please guide us? Because many children, undergo a lot of depression, a lot of sadness and unhappiness, and that reflects in their behavior, reflects in the family relations. So could you guide us how we can change the negative thoughts into a positive being?
Okay. And Preetiji, thanks for the question. And partly the answer is the same. We don't need to directly tell to the child, because certain children will not be in a state to listen to the parents. Sometimes they get more triggered. They reject whatever we say. So instead, you do something within your own self. Initially, you work, what do I need to change within me so that I can inspire my daughter, my son? If you ask that question, and in meditation, you will know exactly, how can I be a better mother? How can I be a better parent now so that I can inspire my child? This question will provide you many answers, Preetiji. And recently, we were traveling in Vietnam for 86 days. So we conducted several programs. One mother exactly has this similar kind of pattern and issue with her son. And she was so worried about the son because he was rebelling, he is self-destructive, and so many patterns emerging. So what I asked the mother is, I taught one creative visualization process and meditation. I told her to visualize that she is giving birth to her son in a new way, because she identified when he was inside the mother's womb, she was so fearful. She was so angry sometimes because the in-laws were not supporting her, and sometimes her husband was away, and she was feeling lack of support and anger, sometimes sadness. So she was doing this creative visualization. She visualized, I asked her to visualize a spider web around this baby, clearing all the cobwebs, and telling the son, whatever that cobwebs, the fears, my sadness, it doesn't belong to you. And you are such a dear child to me. You're born with a great purpose. You have something very beautiful life in front of you. So she visualized a beautiful bluish light around him. And after that, she visualized the baby being born, completely natural birthing. Otherwise, actually, the child was born with cesarean section with a lot of complications. And the child was kept in an incubator for a few hours. So all that correction she did in creative visualization. In the quantum energy field, whatever even you visualize now, it happens even in the past. Understanding is going to be altered, the energy changed. So when she did it for the 7 days, afterwards, the son started speaking to the mother. Otherwise, he was rebelling before. And his behaviors totally changed. He is more at home and speaking to the mother and speaking to the father and developing interest towards his life. So many changes she noticed is just what she did as a mother. She started really caring for herself, and then also doing this creative visualization meditation. It really helped. This is the recent experience. Thank you, Preeti ji.
Wonderful, Dr. Newton. Another thing to learn. There's no time in a quantum field. So you can go back and heal past wounds just by the same visualization process that all of us learned this week. That's great. And I will take the last question, Dr. Newton, and with that we close this.